What's up, buds? I'm out here with my new Transition Patrol, and I'm here to show you how I take pictures of my bikes and make them appear as they're standing alone or floating, as some people would say. I get a lot of people that ask me pretty frequently how I make my pictures look so good and make my bike look like it's standing alone. So I figured it was a good time to show you guys how I do it. It's very simple and straightforward and takes very little extra time, and it goes a long way and makes your pictures really stand out. Now, this is something you can do alone. You do not need a buddy to help you. Sometimes you'll see videos of people doing like one person holds the bike and drops it really quick, but that's not the case here. So this can be done all by yourself. All you need is something to prop the bike up. In my case, it's a big wrench. I use this because it is the perfect size and it works every time for me. But a stick could very easily be used, and you can find them almost anywhere on the trail or wherever you need to take a picture. So right now I have it in the bike stand, and we're gonna get rid of that because we do not want that in the way. So now this is where you stand up your bike, you stage it how you want it. One thing I always like to do is line up the wheel and tire logos at the bottom, make it nice and even. And then the same thing with the cranks as well, make them nice and flat and even. Then all you have to do is take whatever you're gonna use to prop your bike up with, wrench in my case. And then here's where it's pretty important. You want to prop it up by the bottom bracket, not by like the rear chainstay. Some people will prop it up back here at the chainstay. That will not work. So find a stick or something to prop it up with, prop it up at the bottom bracket, and then all you have to do from here is take the picture. I'm gonna take the picture on my camera that's filming this right now, but you can also take a picture with your iPhone or whatever you have, whatever camera you have. It'll work just fine. It all works the same afterwards. So I'm gonna take a picture right now, and then I'll see you on my computer where I show you how to make the magic happen. All right, now that you have the picture of your bike, it's time to show you how to make the bike appear like it's standing on its own, the magic that people think is going on with it, but I promise there's none. It's super easy. I'm gonna show you a couple ways to do it, and I'm gonna start with the way that I do it first. So we're gonna hop onto my computer in Adobe Lightroom right here. This is the picture of my bike. This was the raw shot that I took out there, and then this was the quick edit that I did to it. If you guys want me to make a video showing you how I edit my photos, we can do that, just let me know, but for now, I did that myself just to keep the video going faster. So now to make the magic happen, we're gonna take the photo from Lightroom into Photoshop. So I'm gonna let that open in Photoshop really quick. All right, now that we have the picture in Photoshop, this is where the magic happens. This is how I do it. So what we wanna do is zoom in on the stick or wrench in my case that we need to remove from the photo. And the way I like to do it is to take the clone stamp tool right here, the little one that looks like a stamp, click on that. And then up here, we're going to change the size and make it a little bit bigger than whatever object that you were using. So that looks pretty good right there. And then I'm gonna adjust the hardness a little bit just so I can, it'll blend better if you make the hardness a little bit on there. And then we're also gonna change the flow a little bit just to make it blend a little better. And then what you do if you're on Mac like I am is hit Option on the keyboard, and then this little icon that comes up when you hit it, that's where this is gonna be drawing from. So if I click over, I'm gonna go behind. So if I click right there, when I go to draw over this, it's gonna pull like image data from over here where I clicked and then replace it with this. So all I'm gonna do, and you can see it happening with that little crosshair icon, it's pulling image data from over there, and you can see if you go too high, it's pulling a little bit of the chain in, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna undo that and redo it, but not go quite as high. So we're gonna blend, and then when I get up here, what I'm gonna do is zoom in a little more and maybe make this a little bit smaller, and you can change the area you want it to pull from too. So to avoid the chain, I'm gonna go down a little bit from where the places that I'm going to. And then we're gonna keep filling that in, keep getting closer and keep getting smaller until you can get really fine adjustments. And then we're gonna finish it off. And then here's where you can make the flow and the hardness back to 100% and 0, because here's where you can get really accurate at the bottom bracket where my bash guard is. And then we can finish that off, zoom out, and boom. The wrench is gone, the stick will be gone if that's what you're using, and your picture looks super clean, and people are gonna be asking you how the hell you did it, because that's what they do to me all the time too. So that was the first way to do it in Photoshop. I'm gonna show you one more way to do it in Photoshop. So I'm gonna undo everything that I did. Now the second way to do it in Photoshop is called the spot healing brush. This you don't have quite as much control over. I prefer the other way, but this one might be a little quicker sometimes. So we're gonna use the spot healing brush tool, and the same case goes, make this a little bit bigger than the object that you're trying to remove. And we're going to highlight this, and Photoshop is gonna use their AI on its own to fill it in. So you can see it worked pretty well, but down here, there's a little bit that you can tell it didn't blend perfectly. And then obviously we still have that little bit left. So we're gonna try to remove that using this method too. So we're gonna make that a little smaller, and then highlight it and see if Photoshop removes it. So they removed it pretty well. So right here, it looks good, but you can tell there's a little bit of blemish right there. A trained eye would probably be able to tell that that's there. So what you can do is go back to the clone stamp tool, and you can pull from over here and blend that in a little bit. And now you can't tell. And then you have another picture that looks really good. So the problem with these ways is that Photoshop and Adobe products, everything on your laptop is gonna be paid. And a lot of you aren't gonna wanna pay for that. So there is a free way to do it, and that involves your phone. So I'm gonna get in on my iPhone really quick, take a screen recording, and then show you how to do that. So now that I'm in on my iPhone, I am in the App Store where you need to get Adobe Lightroom Photo Editor. It's a free app, so download that, and then we're gonna open that. So I have the picture in here as well. So what you wanna do here is after you make all your edits, or if you wanna make any at all, we're gonna go to where it says healing, the little Band-Aid icon. And once again, we're gonna zoom in on the object that needs replaced. And then you're gonna adjust the scale of the brush that you wanna use. Maybe make it, feather it a little bit to make it blend a little better. And then we're gonna highlight it, just like we did on the desktop. See, now we feathered it too much in that. You can tell that it bled through a little bit, it didn't quite take it all out. So we're going to adjust the feather so it's not as see-through. Then try that again. So as you can see, Photoshop did a pretty decent job at it, or Lightroom, I mean, same difference. Did a pretty decent job, and then we're gonna go in here, try to get a little more accurate with it. Kind of tough just using your finger to draw, but it did a decent job. And as you can tell when you zoom out, you can't really even tell. I could make it a little cleaner, but that was just a really quick example. So free version on your iPhone, it'll work, it'll get you by, but sometimes it's a little frustrating, especially if there's some hard stuff to blend. But that's just a quick video on how I take pictures of my bike, how I make them look like they're freestanding or floating, as some people might think. So I hope you guys found some use out of this and learned a thing or two so you can step up your bike pictures.